Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I know what you're used to. You're used to me just rolling the intro at this point, right? You're used to seeing the intro and that like bam, wicka, bam, 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 wicka, bam. I know, but we're going to give it a second, okay? Because today I have a very special episode of DLD After Dark. I have a very distinguished guest, I would say. And I've been waiting for a while to get him on. Finally got him on, and he's a wealth of knowledge. He is an excellent builder. He's a patriot. He's sometimes even a shoulder for your boy to lean on. We have a very special guest, and before we introduce him, I'm going to go ahead and roll the intro, and we're going to jump in here together. So hang tight, y'all. This is going to be a good one. Okay. Today. Oh. I tried to pull it off, man. That was a quick costume change, all right? Today, we have a very special guest. Now, I'm going to introduce our guest, and in light of the situation, I'd like to take a moment to introduce our boy, Angry Sarge.
What's going on, guys? Good to see you.
You see what I did there? Yeah, no.
That's a good one. I'm telling you. I was hoping it was going to work out, but that was a little fast.
It's great. It was, man, I thought it was going to be way easier to transition into a plate carrier with mags and a patch and a mask. No. And it was like, damn, I heard the intro run out. I was like, dang. But before we go ahead and introduce you, I'll roll through and just say what's up to all of our people here. If you guys could do me a favor and send into chat who was first, because I didn't see who was first this evening. But let's say what's up to the channel members first. We got Ron Wayne. What's up, brother? Another channel member. Angry Sarge, of course. Channel member. Too many choices. Oh, hold on. Let me fix something real quick. One sec.
I didn't do it. Whatever it is, I didn't do it. Sorry, I'm replying. Promise.
There we
I'm
go.
Replying to you guys.
Hell yeah. Okay, we got too many choices. Channel member. We got, let's see, CNT Designs and Arms. What's up, brother? Another channel member. And by the way, I'd like to celebrate Ron Wayne. I think hit 21,000 subscribers.
Wow, congrats. That's awesome. Man.
Yeah, man. Fire, dude. He's on fire. Kurt 24, another brother. What's up, man? Another channel member. Zach Carr, owner of Toxic Patch Co. You actually recently got some, ordered some patches from them, right?
Yeah, I'm still waiting on them. Come on, Zach. Bring them to me.
That's the worst part. Ordering them is the easiest.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you, once you get them and they're in hand, man, it's a dream come true.
Yep.
We got Misty Miss Wayne, another channel member. Of course, Ron Wayne, you know. Nate D, channel member. We got, who else did I see? Saw some other channel members. DB Cooper, another channel member. What's up, brother? And we got Robert Ribbit Harrison, another channel member. Oh, snap! Marconi is now a channel member. I think he may have gotten blessed with one of the people that purchased them.
Yeah. Can I address one question that we had?
Sure.
They're asking if I lived in a shipping container. No, this is actually a half-car garage, my little work area. So
nice.
It just makes my wife's life easier to have the cars over here and then my little work area right here. So.
Hey man, I love that. I never thought about that because I always kind of like saw you from this angle.
Yeah.
So I thought it was like a little like a shop or like something you built. I figured.
I'm not that handy. I'm good at putting rounds on target, not really
Yeah,
anything else.
right. All right, who else we got? So we got Kurt 24, Ron Wayne, the GD Bacon. Hey, okay, new channel member, Wild Weasel. Look at
There
that.
you go. Look at
Nice.
that.
Thank you for joining the Glowies. Appreciate that. And I dressed up as a Patriot yesterday. I wore a COG Dissonance shirt with a Punisher blue line in front and Snake Don't Tread on the back. Carried tactical coffee in one hand and a pen to write reps with the other. Don't forget to vote harder, okay?
Uh,
And of course, okay, so I think we got through all the channel members. If I missed a channel member, then please let me know. Of course, the honorable mentions, we got Sevenity. Hey, come out in PLA, one of the homies. What's up, brother? We got Sevenity. We got Farmer James. We got Vanessa Kitty. We got Polish Man. What's up, guys, from New Print Customs? Okay, sounds cool.
that's the ones who did my slide on that Glock 48, and they did a
Really?
couple slides for me. Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, that was a fire ass job on that.
Yeah. Good, man.
Yeah, that was awesome. Scott D. Magnificent. We got Shogun Customs, another one that I keep
The
mentioning.
homie.
Yeah, he does awesome work, man.
Yeah, he does.
Bacon. I guess I missed him. Another channel member. We got Chuck Norris Gun Club. What's up, brother? John Rice and all you guys. I'll cut it a hair short tonight. Okay, GC9, a mouse. Ting Ting. I know that's you. Good to see you. And all you guys. And Freakistang, man, Freakistang, it's good to see you back around, brother. Thank you for coming along. And yeah, so and Flying Rich, welcome as well. So let's go ahead and get started. We have the one, the only Angry Sarge. Take a moment and introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are, what you do, and where they can find you, and all that good stuff.
All right. Hey, I'm Angry Sarge. I'm the guy that I guess everybody knows about, but they don't know about. If that makes sense.
You're the guy that everyone knows about, they don't know.
There you go. That kind of fits better. But no, I'm just a dude that found my way into the building community and kind of hooked up with a lot of cool people, and I like to help out any way I can and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
just a regular dude. And if you I guess if you want to see what I do, go check me out on Instagram, angry_Sarge. And I've been throwing up a bunch of reels and some other content and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
nothing crazy. What's up?
you put up some good stuff, man. I've
I
been
appreciate it.
and like the Glock 48 with the that Kydex rig with the it's like Starry Night, but it's like
Yes, it's called Worry Night. So
Warrior.
it's got an AC 130 gunship. It's got a Chinook. It's got a little bird.
Yeah.
So kind of my speed from all the things that I've done, I guess, in my career. So
Yep, man, that's fire. I was really impressed when I saw that, and of course you got the what is it, the SCT 19
yeah.
compared to that Between a Strike,
Right.
and I actually just bought one today. If anybody wants the link for that, I am almost certain that Strike Industries is going to sue the dog.
You know what's funny is I've kind of they kind of hit me up and they like my stuff and they share my stuff, and I always wonder like if they're gonna come back and be like, I can't share your stuff because we don't do like that SCT 19. But I told them like whenever I did my Arcane Magwell, the tactical Magwell, and I tagged them in a picture, they were like, hey, we're sorry, but nothing in there is ours. And I was like, that gray strike 80 is yours. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just so used to seeing the SCT 19." I was like, "No, that gray strike 80 was yours." He was like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say before I forget, I also am doing a show with Tactical Trash Panda. We do it every Friday. Well, every other Friday. Unfortunately, we wanted to try the Saturday. I was trying not to block any of your shows or anybody else's because there's other lives I want to see, but due to our schedules, that's what kind of worked out was the Friday nights at um, 9 o'clock, which we're actually going live this Friday with Carbon Q. But shout
Right.
out to my guys that showed up here, Tactical Trash Panda. That's that's the host of the show. I'm just kind of there just for the laughing content, I guess,
Yeah,
to be made fun of.
I've had the pleasure of meeting him in real life. He's a solid dude,
Yeah.
and he's also been on the show before, actually way before we met. Excuse me. Um, he's just a great dude, man. And if you guys
Yeah.
have not checked out Tactical Trash Panda, not Tactical Trash Pandas, all right,
Nope.
so that another channel pops up, with the same name.
That logo.
Yeah, that logo, that, that logo,
Pet it, yes.
Tactical Panda. And yeah, great guy, man. Really good content. And I wish he would do more content, like hard videos and shorts and stuff like that. So, Tactical Trash Panda, I'd love to see more of your stuff out there. Just saying.
That's what I've been saying too. He's like, man, I got to take a cue from you because you're knocking it out of the park, and I'm like, I'm just quickly putting out stuff. Just I don't know what else to do. So
Playing a dude, disguised
there
dude.
you go.
Here we got some more channel members that came up in here. So we'll say what's up to Murphy's Law. What's up, brother?
What's up?
We got let's see, we got CNT Designs. Come On PLA is also a bright beacon of hope in the community. And DB Koopa. And who else? I saw somebody else come up in here. Ron Wayne.
Murphy's Law.
Oh, sorry, what's up?
No, it was Murphy's Law. He
Yeah.
shouted me out, so appreciate it.
And Martin Kaminsky, what up? What up? Chuck Norris Gun Club, the GD Bacon. There he is, Mo Betta Prince. Mo Betta Prince and ADXR 920. ADXR 920 and Mike McClune both purchased memberships for other people. They gifted them to other people. So like a random 10 people got channel memberships. And
yeah, I was one of them on it was ADX that did that. I got one. So shout out to the ghost of P80 Ralph. Thanks for coming in, man. Yeah, he popped in.
Oh, I didn't see. Hey, the ghost of P80 Ralph, Sarge, Emrich, Freaky saying Caleb, Polishman. Oh, and Windex too, man. I saw Windex. Salute. All these from.
So I got a bunch of my Discord guys in here, so I'm really excited that they came to support me. I'm humble, guys. Thank you.
And you're an awesome dude, man. They're here to learn more about you and support you. So now that we're on the topic of Angry Sarge, I see you got the Angry Sarge on, and you got the Angry Sarge logo with the nods and all that. But tell me a little bit about the mask first.
So I know it's kind of niche. Some people don't know about the samurai culture and things like that. But growing up, as far as me in the military, I spent 22 years in the Army and some other time in law enforcement and stuff like that, about 14 years. And it was kind of like that warrior thing. Who do you connect with? Because some people connect with Vikings or Spartans. You see all this stuff going around. And I always wore the Punisher patch on deployments and stuff like that because that was typical of the units that I was with. And I was a big Frank Castle, fan. And so whenever I got close to the end of my career and I got hurt on deployment, I kind of I was trying to figure out a way to close my career and be proud of the things that I've done, even though a lot of it I wasn't. So the mask to me, and the reason why it's a demon mask, is to show like the duality of a warrior. Because underneath, I'm this nice guy, but I've done terrible things. So this is kind of like my exterior, I guess, armor per se. So it just shows off that duality of what I've done, what I've been through, and things like that. That's why it's scary.
That's
So
some pretty shit, man. That's so I mean you don't have to go into to you can go into as much or as little detail as you want, but is it like the internal conflict of a warrior of like things you did while on deployment or in law enforcement or both?
I think it's both because I mean, so even in my law enforcement career, I've come across stuff that would mess with you, anybody. Some of the cases that I've dealt with, crimes against children, obviously, or some of the bad things that you see that people just do to people. It's amazing, and it's even worse overseas when you're like in third world countries where they have no respect or anything for life. So they just don't care.
Yeah.
But
Like
I think it's all around. Go ahead.
like body bombs and shit like that. Terrible.
Yeah. So I remember one time back in the early part of the war. I'm old, believe it or not too old, but I was.
You're young up here though.
So my first deployment was OAF 2004. So during that, we had the elections crossing into 2005, where Iraq was starting to have their elections and stuff like that. And, I think the worst thing I've come across was like they had a handicapped child that was mentally handicapped and in a wheelchair. And they just strapped him up with bombs and just pushed him into a group of soldiers and then detonated. They just don't have any respect for life, man. It was a different time back then too. So
Dude,
it's
fucking
crazy.
wow.
So not only the combat, but I've also in my law enforcement career, I've been ambushed. I've been in a gunfight with a guy that tried to murder me and murder his wife and all that stuff. So it's I've kind of went through a whole gamut of stuff between both jobs. So
Damn. Well, luckily, Flying Rich comes to the rescue to a little bit. He's a $2 super chat that says, "Dark to Bridge, still smell of eggs." Rich, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, brother. This dude, the only dude I know, so he came to the Dark compound here, and I let him stay for a couple days. This dude brought like 48 hard-boiled eggs with him, man. I have
wow, he was
no
ready.
dude, and like I commend you for you being so strict and disciplined on your diet, but God, my fridge reeked of sulfur for like 2 days. It's good now, Rich. I appreciate the super chat and the message, but it's good now, brother. I appreciate you.
That's funny.
You know, an interesting thing, man, is we've talked a lot like offline before, and we've talked about things, and a lot of people I feel like kind of just jump on the bandwagon of like fuck the police, and there's no way that anyone in law enforcement can be constitutional, and I've kind of had arguments about that, and you and I have had conversations, and without people knowing that it was you, I've actually used you as an example of, like, I know a dude who, was in law enforcement, and he would, every opportunity that he could, he would, abide by the Constitution, but also educate people on their constitutional rights and, well, their rights given to them by God that are protected by the Constitution. And,
Right.
I hear that a lot. Can you think of any instances where, you weren't a piece of shit and honored the Constitution?
I mean, we'll just say that I'm not the typical what everybody would classify as asshole cop or whatever. I'll be honest with you. I probably write maybe 10 tickets a year, and they're usually earned. Like if I show up at your car and you start motherfucking me, like from the jump, yeah, you're probably gonna get a ticket just
You're gonna
because.
get back.
Yeah, just because you talked yourself into it. Typically, I don't like to do that. But besides that, like if you look at any case that I've thrown up in court, everything was done exactly how it was supposed to be done without violating their rights or anything like that. And that's why my cases go forward, because I'm very thorough. If I know that something's going on, but I can't do the right thing and get that evidence the way it needs to be got, whether that's writing a warrant or something like that, then I won't do it. I'll just miss out on that dope stop this time, and they'll walk away. But it's not all of us are like that, and I work with a lot of people that are pretty straight up, and it's sad because we get this name, because what does the media want to focus on? All the bad. Like the
Yeah.
whole Uvalde thing, that was just a fucking shit show. Just period. I don't like to talk about it, and I don't like to Monday morning quarterback it. I just say it was a shit show, and it saddens me, especially doing what I do, because there's no way you can stop me. Just like with my shooting, nobody was going to stop me from dealing with that suspect and rendering aid to his wife that he decided to shoot in the face. I don't care what it would have taken, you know?
That's an interesting thing because I think I would say most of us here in the the viewers, the people in chat, and everybody. I think most of us looking back on it, even though we weren't there, most of us would have probably gladly run in there, without even considering if we were going to be able to run out, you know.
Well,
But I I remember the moment that I saw on the video footage where the dude whose wife taught there, he was walking in, he had his gun drawn, and somebody who I'm guessing was his superior or another
yeah,
police officer stopped him, and then he was like, no, 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 I'm going in, and he stopped him, and the guy just kind of like did the like when you're crying and you kind of like take that breath, like, all right, I need to chill, and he holstered
yeah.
his gun, sat there, and I don't know if it was just a clusterfuck of like everyone telling them not to move when all of them could have been dying to move. I don't know, right? But that I got chills just even
Yeah.
starting to watch that. That's
Yeah, and that's like I said, I don't want to Monday morning quarterback it. I've
yeah,
already seen all the evidence, and uh, they're they're doing a lot of different things in Texas because of that. So um, it all comes down to, honestly, and I've been saying this for years, even as a SWAT team guy, is that we need more training as law enforcement, regardless of anything else. And they have this stigma about, well, can we let military guys that have seen war come back and work the streets and stuff without there being any issues, any crossover or anything like that? And I'm telling you right now, as a combat veteran, that I had no issue changing over. And I was the guy that if something happened, you wanted right next to you or pushing forward. So,
yeah,
and it's kind of, uh, it all comes back down to training. I don't think we get enough of it, and all this defund the police and all this bullshit that they're wanting to say. I mean, all you're doing is asking for things like that to happen. And even though they may have had training, did they have the right training?
yeah,
Probably not.
yeah. You can train a bad habit,
Yep.
for years. Uh, Rich is talking about his tickets. He says, "I yes sir, no sir," and still get tickets. But Rich, you're also kind of an asshole. I mean, you're a nice asshole. But says thank you with another $2 super chat. He says, "What if it is 110 miles an hour and a 55?" Asking
But
for
so let me tell you what's going to happen. You're going to get a ticket.
yeah,
But I may be nice if you walk up. If I walk up and you're like, hey, nice and stuff, and roll your windows down, make it easy, make me feel safe. I'll probably write you for like 75 in a 50.
damn.
So I've
We
done
met.
that. I've done it before. So
Oh, really?
yeah. I mean, I'll put it to you this way. The reason why I do that is because back when I was a young soldier, I was on call. We had what was it, a 2 hour recall is what they called it, because we were
Mm.
getting ready to deploy. And I was going to visit my wife, who was 2.5 hours away. She didn't live on post with me, because we had just gotten married and not everything changed over. So I was still in the barracks and everything like that. And I was coming back because I got the call and I was like, oh shit, 2.5 hours away. I got to go. I was doing 125 down the interstate and the state
Mm.
trooper stopped me. And I was in uniform and everything. He was like, hey, where are you going so fast? And I told him, I said, I'm on recall. I'm deploying. Um, and he wrote me a ticket. And I think he wrote it for, it was a 65. And I think he wrote it for like 75. So 10 over. And
Wow.
then gave me a full escort down to the base. Like
Dang.
they were switching all that. Like as soon as I got into another county, they had a new trooper up there bringing me forward. So,
Dang. Dude, that's
yeah.
pretty.
So
See, police can do good shit. I-
I mean, and I was young. I hate tickets. I'm not gonna lie. I've gotten 2 tickets in my whole life. Most of the time, whenever I get stopped, I pull over. I do what I would do on a traffic stop: is I get over, roll down all my windows. All the stuff that I want to see whenever I come up to your car.
yeah.
Um, I would do all that, and most of the time they're like, "Who do you work for?" That's what I get, and
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, I was gonna take my lump."
Is that what if they say who do you work for, they're talking about like what agency you work
Yeah.
for? Bro. Okay. So funny. So I used to get pulled over all the time because I always did illegal shit. Right. When I was younger, I was
Yeah.
totally reckless. Illegal tinted windows, dead tags, like the gambit, right? Everything.
Right.
And after a while, I had one experience where I got to study the business end of an HKUSP, and that was not a good situation.
Yeah.
I got pulled over, and I knew the cop was going to pull me over because I went to a 7-Eleven to literally go inside and just get a drink, fresh 21, got my permit, and I'm probably looking all like thuggish, ruggish, whatever, but and I probably had a big bulge on my hip. But when I got back in the car and left the 7-Eleven, the cop followed right behind me, and I was like, all right, he's going to pull me over. And when I got pulled over, he came to my passenger side,
Yeah.
and I had rolled down my windows because I was listening in my head of like what they told me to do when you get a permit and all that.
Right.
And I didn't know that another one came to my driver's side, but like behind in my blind spot.
Hmm.
So I didn't even know him, didn't hear him approach. He didn't say anything. And this dude is like license and registration. Now, with my dome lights on, hands at 10 and 2, right? I had said, I'll let you know. I have my permit to carry concealed handgun, and I have a handgun on the right side of my hip. It's loaded. And I guess homie here only heard me say I have a handgun.
Yeah.
So this dude on the passenger side was like a vet. Like this guy was old, chill, no problem. This guy was a rookie, and I
Yeah.
heard the swipe of his holster. And he's like, don't fucking move, put your hands, da, da, da.
Yeah.
And that dude was like, take your hands off the wheel, take your seatbelt off, and I'm getting two different things.
Yeah.
He's taking my seatbelt off. He's saying, don't move my fucking hands.
Yeah.
And I was, dude, I do not want a chest full of Winchester Rangers. I am not moving at all
Right.
until whatever. And if I calm down, and then they were like, all right, with your right hand, undo your seatbelt, and blah, blah, blah. And they took me out. They handcuffed me. They took my weapon from me. They searched my car for like 45 minutes. And then after they found nothing illegal was going on, they threw my handgun in the trunk, unloaded with the round in the chamber over here and the mag over here, and closed it. And they said, you're good to go. You can go. And I was like, dude, I'm never like, I don't want to like look like this anymore. I don't want to like,
Yeah.
I'm done with it. Ever since then, I started being extremely cautious when I got pulled over, and it was all windows down, dome light on,
Yeah.
hands to, officer, I'll give you that, and anything else,
Yeah.
no problem. I'd like to let you know for both of our, I have permit to carry concealed handgun. I have a loaded handgun in my wherever it is, my appendix at 1 o'clock. My right side of my hip at 3 o'clock, whatever it is, and I tell
Right.
them. And I've had some ask, "Who do you work for?" And I was like, "What do you mean? I work for X, Y, and Z." They're like, I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't know that it was like that kind of question.
Yeah. It's code for what agency,
Interesting.
or if you're military, sometimes that. But I will tell you, having done this job for so many years, the most dangerous things that obviously would go on are domestics and traffic stops, right? And I'll tell you one example of a traffic stop that I had. It was I just came on shift. It was probably about 6, just after 6 in the morning, right? And I was driving up the highway, and a truck flew by me. Now, granted, I'm doing 5 over on the highway. So if you pass me, you know you're speeding. There's no question about, hey, I wasn't speeding. But no, he just flew past me, right?
Hmm.
And I got in, stopped him, and I was slow because something just didn't feel right about this stop. And I exited driver's side, came around to the passenger side of my vehicle from the back, and then came out, swung out wide. And I came to his passenger side, and he kept looking out the drivers, like just doing this, and I was getting like this weird vibe, right? So when I came up, I was looking, and I popped my light real quick. He had his hand on a tourist judge, and I got him out of the car. Thankfully, he dropped it because I had the drop on him, dead to rights. I told him, "You're going to die on the side of this road today if you raise that weapon."
Damn.
And I got him out of the vehicle. He had meth on him. It was a stolen vehicle and all this other stuff. So it was a pretty bad stop, right? And then when he was interviewed, he said my plan was to kill that deputy.
Damn.
So he was gonna shoot me.
So hold on. When you came up on the passenger side and you popped your light, was it a weapon mounted light?
No, I still had the handheld because I
Handheld.
don't. Yeah, I'm not gonna pull out my gun. I mean, I had my hand on my gun because I felt like something was off, but I
Yeah.
never use my weapon mounted light. I'm always running this hand, and if I have to, I can still make a shot one handed because
Yeah.
I train. But
Yeah. No, I
um,
your training for sure. I know you've done a lot, you know, especially compared to most of the police out there. Well, that's why I was curious. I didn't know if you had already drawn, but in that brief little second when you shine the light, you saw that he.
I saw a tourist judge in his hand, like he had it tucked between the seat, and it was a truck, so it had the little thing that folds down,
Hmm.
like a third seat, but it
Yeah.
becomes a console. So he had that down, and I seen that like part of the handle because he was a smaller guy. So when he
Hmm.
grabbed it, I could see like the butt end of it, and then see a little bit of silver in front because it was kind of hid. And that's when I drew my weapon. And I told him, "Hey, you bring that up, and I'll kill you. You will
Damn.
die on the side of the road today." And he he listened to me. I got him out, gunpoint, brought him over. Um, I handcuffed him, and later on, he told the investigators that he was going to kill me. So
Damn. That's crazy. I
yeah,
mean, it's interesting that you could tell as a judge too, because that those Tauruses have very, very unique grips.
yeah,
You can tell by the ribbing on the rubber grips, and
yeah,
at that point, I've thought of this in a couple different ways, right? Like, I've picked up a couple guys, like that need help, that need a ride, that need like whatever, right? And I've always thought about this, like, all right, I'm right-handed, and orientation is so important if you're going to end up in a situation where you need to defend yourself. If if somebody is to my right, and who knows if there's police out here listening, or self-defenders or whomever that may need to think about this, like, I picked up a guy before that was acting uber weird, that I had to tell, get the fuck out of my car or I'm
yeah,
going to ventilate you properly. and I didn't actually draw a firearm or anything because I didn't need to match ordinary force with lethal force. Like it wouldn't have been appropriate. But what the thought that I was left with after that was that, like, okay, let's say he had a gun or a knife or something like that. If I had to draw from, at that point I was carrying strong side like 330, right?
Yeah.
If I had to draw that orientation to get to the passenger seat is so awkward, right? Like, and that guy, your bad guy in that case, he would have been at a massive disadvantage.
He,
Not only had him dead to rights, like, you
yeah.
know, he would have had to draw on the drop, but like that's, you would have had to one-handed drawn and then extended, and probably would have scattered pellets all over the place. But
Yeah.
I've thought about it. I've been like, okay, well, then, you know, I need to actually have a gun like under my left thigh, you know, oriented like this, or under my left thigh oriented like that, and I may need to draw it with my left hand, or should I have a car gun and then a waistband gun, and then, you know, it starts making me think like all this shit. So what was like your setup
As far as
when you
me
were
being in a car?
a car, or like just when you were out? Like, did you have a secondary,
So
or
no, I mean it. I think everything varies on what I'm doing. If I'm going to training or something like that, I carry outside the waistband. But inside the waistband, I'm running appendix or sling bag. Sling bag is my favorite because I can throw that thing right here, center mass. I can reach, get it with either hand, and kind of run it from there. So I'm I'm a big sling bag fan. I don't like to wear a bunch of holsters if I don't have to because I've done it for years. So
and you're talking like in civilian clothes and regular?
yeah, yeah,
So
just a
you're,
little Victos bag is what I use.
what kind of bag?
A Victos. I
Okay.
think it's a commuter or something like that. It's in multicam black. I just like, if you can't tell, my brand is multicam black. So
Yeah, dude, that's gotten really popular over the last, you know, couple of years or so. But so your primary is carried off body when
yeah,
you, not, maybe not always, but
yeah, not always.
okay. And when you were out, like in the, you know, law enforcement world, were you just carrying that one
No.
handgun, or?
So in my car, typically what I would do is before we got our little lock boxes that were on the side between the rifle and the shotgun,
Mhm.
I had a holster hooked to um, what do they call that bag? It's a 511 uh, wingman bag, right? And it
Okay.
has some molly on the outside. And I just mollied a holster to it. So that way, if I had to get to it, they couldn't see it. I could just reach over my passenger seat and go. Because sometimes getting to your holster on your hip,
Yeah.
it's almost impossible with that seatbelt in the way and everything else. So I'd rather have that. And I usually have a stick in it. And everybody's like, why you carry a 33 round magazine? Because if it's bad, I'm
Yeah.
probably gonna need every round in that so I can get out of the vehicle and then transition to what I have
Hell
on
yeah.
my person. So
And your I guess agency, you call it, they were cool with that, with you rocking a
yeah,
33 rounder in there?
I mean we're in a free state, so
So if um if you were doing work on like your what do you call it? Uh, what's the word that I'm drawing a blank on it? Your the cop gun, service weapon. Okay,
okay.
so
Service weapon.
yeah, for your service weapon, if you did anything to it, would it have to be like only OEM, or?
So those we could not touch, and the reason being is because they have a warranty, right? So if something happens to that weapon and it fails, say like I'm in a firefight and then the gun goes down and I get killed. Well,
Mm,
because of that failure, they can figure out, whether it was a gun issue or whatever the case is. So, I mean, it kind of gives my family that ability to file a lawsuit if the gun was a piece of shit, basically.
yeah,
So they don't let us touch it because you need to be an armor. I mean, like now I can work on my stuff, obviously, because I've got that training. Hey, Wave Slave, appreciate you, brother. But yeah, I mean, I work on my stuff, my service stuff. I don't. I leave that to the armorer, so that way the agency is responsible for that. And if the gun goes down, and I've told them about it, I've written it up, sent it in, said, hey, the trigger's dead, the connector probably needs to be bent or something like that. That's on them. I don't touch it. It's on them. So typically, if the trigger dies, the armorer doesn't do anything except, issue out another firearm, order another connector from Glock, throw it in there instead of just doing that simple little bend. So
yeah, I was just curious. When I worked at the gun shop that I worked at, the county sheriffs, like the whole sheriff's office, we would do maintenance on their 14.5-inch M4s with a suppressor, fancy stuff, and also their Glocks. Prior to that, it was HK USPs, but they went to Glocks. They actually went to P30s for a little bit too, which I was never a big fan of those, but they were allowed to make changes to it, but it could only be factory OEM parts, and they had to, we had to write a receipt, tell them exactly what we did, only use stuff, and I had to turn guys away because some of them were like, hey, I want like a ghost connector put in it, and I'd be like, bro, I can't. I can't do that. And they'd be like, oh, we could just keep it between us. I'm like, hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so I got lucky because I'm a weirdo, and I'll tell you why I'm a weirdo. I'm right-handed. I'm left-eye dominant. So when I shoot my pistol, I'm right-handed. When I shoot my rifle, I'm left-handed. So I have to have everything kind of ambidextrous. And most rifles that you get and they order are right-handed, right? So I needed left-handed stuff, and I've kind of spoiled myself throughout the years. Having ambidextrous parts and stuff like that. So they were cool with those getting put on, and they would make sure that they function and all that stuff. But other than that, no, we weren't modifying. I maybe modified my mags and put some +5s on there or something like +2s, whatever. But that's just for mag cap.
And they were cool with that.
Yeah, and then plus our off-duty firearms, as long as they were in the list of firearms they authorized, you were good. So, my off-duty stuff had, upgraded triggers and stuff like that. I didn't do too much. I don't like to shave weight or anything like that, because if I do happen to shoot somebody in the line of duty with it, I don't want to be that guy that's a test case for, the DA that says, oh, well, he modified the trigger, so it's lighter and it's made to kill people and stuff. So I didn't want to do that, and I just left it alone. But
yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of thoughts and conjecture on that whole situation. It's like that one trial with the guy named Kyle who took out some of those guys. Which you guys may be seeing him on the channel sometime soon. I just want to throw that out there. He had FMJs, right? He was running FMJs in his AR, which is normal, right? And they had said he had FMJs specifically for this reason, to be more lethal, to be reckless. They went right through. It's like, dude, if he had hollow points, you would have said he had hollow points specifically to do more damage. It's almost like damn, you don't kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, everything's so weird, especially with the way things are going nowadays. So it's just that's why I told you earlier, I don't do the politics thing, not even on my Discord. I'm just not. I'm not that kind of guy, because I'll tell you straight up that I think everybody at the top needs to retire, and we need to get some new blood in there, and have some term limits and stuff like that. But that's about as far as I'll go.
Yeah, I don't disagree. At times, I do think that we may need a good cleansing.
Yep. So
let me stop.
Can you pull up Shogun's question? I'll answer that.
Yeah, let me see. Sorry. Where'd you
I've been
go?
kind of answering it, but that one's too long to answer.
Sarge, what is the best memory you had in law enforcement? Like a good moment with a civilian?
I'll tell you my most favorite thing, and I still have the pictures from. We we held a SWAT party for a kid that was on Make a Wish, and he really wanted to have a SWAT party. So we actually went, volunteered our time, built him a fort, and then had this big grandiose SWAT party for him. I let him put on my gear, showed him all our cool guy stuff, and let him pretend that he was riding with us in our SWAT vehicle and doing operations and stuff. So it's really cool to go out there and do that. I mean that make that's what makes my day. That's what I love about the job is giving back to the community that it serves. So
Yeah, that's incredible, man. And how old was he at that time?
Um, I think he was like 9 or 10. So
Wow. That yeah,
hey,
that's
hey, just have a good night, man. I
peace
just
out.
saw that.
By the way, I will say Flying Rich had to leave a couple things. 69 people. 69. Nice. I had Rich had to leave a couple things here because he was going to New York. And you can't bring any cool guns to New York. And he left his SIG 365 here, and I swear to God, he's never cleaned it in his life. So being like, all right, if I'm gonna go somewhere, I'm gonna leave it nicer than when I got there. If someone's gonna leave something here, they're gonna pick it up, and it's gonna be nicer than when they left it. And that's exactly what I did.
Yep.
So his shot was dying in his AR, so I replaced the battery. His SIG had never seen a clean cloth in its life, so I took some Aegis. I completely cleaned it with the Aegis
It's a good
salt.
idea.
Yep. And then I took the Aegis gun lube to it, and I got it all clean, all smooth, and man, that thing is pure fire. And of course, a lot of this is to say, Rod, thank you. Aegis is all. So if
Yes.
anybody needs some gun cleaning shit, man, Aegis is where it's at.
I mean, if you talk to my guys, they'll say I held them hostage at gunpoint and made them buy Aegis's products.
Are like your guys like work guys or?
No, like my guys from Discord, like
Oh no,
Trash Panda, Windex, Xeons, all those guys.
dude, it's
Caleb.
the best shit. Not only do you get like a dope black multicam, uh, you know, kit with it, but like it's got every single thing you would ever need. The Q-tips, the double-sided Q-tips with
Yep.
the little pointy parts to get
Yep.
inside the rails. If you're like me, you only use folded paper towels to get up in there.
Yeah. See
you know,
that? They're already commenting. Yup. Strong arm Sarge. See? Calling me out, these guys.
dude, Shogun. I gotta say again, I brought the. Hey, what's up, Jackson? What's up, Dark? Just joined. What's good, homie? Hope you're having a good day. You too, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Everidge, what's up, man? Love my Aegis Deluxe kit. Hell yeah. Windex, Tech Money. Salute to both y'all. I just want to add too, man. Shogun, dude. I went to his Instagram. We were kind of like, just kind of liking stuff back and forth with each other. Dude, looking at the work he's done, if you guys haven't gone to Instagram and looked up Shogun Customs, please go look it up. Like he is doing some crazy stippling shit, and I swear the coolest thing was when he had said he was talking to a customer that couldn't choose between three different stipplings, so he did all three on it, all three patterns on a 365. He did like this little grip section where like your thumb rests in like this like wave stippling, another one in like this it's hard to describe it, but it was three different patterns, one on the back strap,
Yeah.
one on the side panel, and one up where the thumb is, and it came together so good, man, so
Yeah.
clean. So check out Shogun Customs.
So I'll say on that one, we had somebody gift some memberships.
Oh,
That would
really?
be Kurt 24 gifted 5.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hold on, let me pull it up. So unfortunately, it doesn't show me StreamYard doesn't tell me. Dude, thank you so much. Kurt24, my brother, thank you so much. I appreciate you doing that. 5 memberships for 5 random folks in the community. Look at that. Let's see. We got, let's see, Wild Weasel is now a channel member. Look at that. Angry Sarge, did you ever see the SWTRR8 357 used in SWAT?
Nope.
I heard it was made for,
haven't.
and because autos sometimes catch the slide on the shield and cause malfunctions. Never heard of that.
That's why you have to go around and over it. Like we push out pretty far, so I'd rather get my hand shot off. But you know,
Oh yeah, I'll
what do
take
you
that
do?
compared to the alternative.
Yeah.
Wave Slave with the 499 super chat. Thank you, brother. Shogun for show. Wave Slave is the homie,
So-
man. We're bro.
Yeah. So let me say this. One, next week, I've already kind of started the video for this, but I've got a frame that I've been holding on to. I've been waiting for Shogun to come back because we actually have two projects in the work that we're taking care of each other and trying to make sure that it gets done. But it's going to be probably the coolest things that I personally own. I mean, it's kind of a nod. We're doing a Shogun build and a Ronin build, which is real quick. I'll explain that after. But
yeah,
Instagram, I'm gonna have one of his frames up there, and I'm gonna build it out and kind of show it off. I won't show the whole building process because you know how they get a little crazy about stuff. But I'm gonna build it out, do it up, so you guys can see some Shogun. And then lastly, I didn't get to say this earlier, but the whole Ronin thing, if anybody knows Tulam from Ronin Tactics, you know, he talks about being a Ronin and stuff like that. And it's a Ronin in Japanese culture is a masterless samurai. So that's why I relate to a Ronin, because I'm retired and I have no master, and now I get to walk in peace, if that makes sense. So
damn. That's some deep shit right there.
Yeah.
Mike McLuhan says, "Oh damn, Kurt24, you the man, bro, for sure." And I appreciate that. Honestly, man, I love seeing all the people in my community just like giving and contributing to others, man. That tickles me. Speaking of which, Zach Carr with another $2 super chat says, "I'm too poor to gift subs. Here is Coke money." Hopefully, you mean like Coca-Cola. Well, I got $2. You can buy a singular Coca-Cola.
Oh, freak. So apparently Martin Kaminsky has a message because Freak brought it to my attention that I need to answer him. And then there's another one, but
oh, this is a setup. This is a setup.
It is a setup.
Come on.
9 mil. I mean, I carried 357 SIG for years on a 226 R, but yeah, 9 mil. Been carrying 9 mil for a very long time, and definitely not a Fed. Promise you that. Definitely not a Fed.
You guys got to understand that
I am retired. I'm a private citizen.
I think a lot of people they don't understand that like police does not mean Fed, and Fed doesn't. You know, it's different.
And then I got one from Joe Morris.
Yep.
So we're just county, and when we brought in our cities, like all our surrounding cities, because we were a smaller county. We're big in land size and area we cover. I'm basically like a state trooper because they cover a lot of area, and so do we. But we brought in our small cities, a couple of guys into our TAC team, and that's what made up our whole SWAT team, was mainly the county and then, you know, some of our city counterparts.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Easy EDP with the $4.99 super chat, brother. Thank you. It looks like there was no message in there, so excuse me. So if you do have a message, feel free to shoot it over in chat, and I'll keep an eye out.
You gotta love Farmer James. All the CIA say they are private citizens.
That's right. behind in chat. People are saying, Sarge, answer Martin's question.
Yeah, he set me up, of course. Leave it to Freakistang to
I know,
rile
right?
everything up, right?
Right. Evan Basinski, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Let me get caught up here real quick.
Yeah, you got Murphy's Law, $5 super chat.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm getting down there.
Juice, I'm not going to answer that. No.
No?
No, I'm saying I'm not going to answer that.
No?
I mean, I'll do it. I ain't scared. I mean, I pray
you
ate
enjoy,
weirder. What's that?
do you enjoy it though?
I've ate worse stuff overseas, man. Just saying.
Frag Out Designs, what's up, brother? Have you seen any of Frag Out Designs work?
I have. Yeah.
Dude, his shit is
that's the hard thing is like I'm not into the 3D printed scene, but I respect those guys because of all the things that they're doing is like crazy. It's insane some of the stuff that they're doing. It's just unfortunately for me, that's not my strong suit. Like I would say I'm new into building, but I'm not new into building. So
yeah.
but I respect those guys, man. I love seeing their stuff, so I'll definitely give you a follow and check your stuff out.
Yeah, man, he's using a crazy ass laser machine to do like crazy ass work. Actually, he whipped up this for John Crump.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the Wolverine
so
logo.
he's doing laser as well, right?
Yeah, he's laser. Yeah, he's not doing like 3D development.
No design work. Okay.
Yeah, all laser on metal and some polymer stuff, and it's like all hand done art. And if I didn't hear incorrectly, he's damn, we're up to almost 80 people in here. That's awesome. If I didn't hear incorrectly, I think he did the artwork on one of Ice Cube's albums.
Wow.
Like that, like high level he is. Murphy's Law, thank you for the super chat, brother. He says, this is a cool group of guys and gals here, period, and Semper Fi. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it, Devil Dog.
And I think you maybe confused me with another YouTube channel if you want me to say Semper Fi, do or die, but I don't know. Not all y'all have been around since then, you know what I'm saying?
You know he's back.
What?
He's back.
No.
He's back. I kid you not, dude, on a different form. So
he better be
just
back.
wait. The 27th, November 27th is his first live.
For real?
Yeah.
Bro, so on that last stream he did, I got it screen recorded. He was like, yo, DLD After Dark. Yeah, I know who you are, bro. I've seen you around. I'd love to do a live stream with you, bro. And I was like, yeah. And then the next day it was like, Marine Gun Builder's gone. I was like, no.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see the IG that I put up. I put an IG up about him coming back and how to join his forum. So
yeah, I didn't see it, man. That's I guess a lot of times blow past up. Speaking of blowing past, damn, Nate D, 99-cent super chat, bro. Thank you, man. All you guys are just giving too much. Sarge, do you practice Bushido?
I do some, yes. I think as far as my values and my morals, they kind of align with Bushido. So, yes,
Yep.
I serve others, and I take that seriously. As far as providing that service to others and that warrior spirit and that mentality. So, it's been a while.
That's what's up, man. All right, let me get caught up here with chat, guys. Damn, I had no idea how far behind I was, y'all. It's so easy to get conversation and then go back and forth and chat. You know me. Ooh, I also did some work for a popular lady adult actress. So, hey,
fancy.
Okay, I actually have
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I would love to know. I'd love to know who. Now, I showed this off a moment ago because this is a very special cartridge. It may look like a Glock 26 mag, but it's actually
a pumped up TCM,
a pumped up 9mm. It's 357 SIG. I built a an all blue, because you know me.
Yeah, we saw that.
Like, it's so funny. People are like, "We know dark. All your guns are blue."
All the
Yeah.
blue.
Yep, yep. All the blue. All here. Let me see. Here you go. All the blue Kim
All
light.
the blue. Yep.
Look at that. But uh, in all blue, 357 Sig Glock 33. Compliments of 1776 Supply Co. Actually, how many grains is a 357 Sig? Most of these are 125s, pushed at about 1,450 feet per second at about 564 foot-pounds of pressure. However, I have these 357 Sig Liberty Civil Defense rounds that are pushing 2,300 feet per second out of a Glock 33. Crazy.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's good, man. That's better than what my SIGs are pushing. So
And you were rocking a Sig, you said 229?
no, 226R.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's the 226, but it's the rail version. So
Yeah.
we can accommodate a light. But yeah, I mean, I think we were running, what was it, Winchesters out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think now, well, before I left, I was carrying critical duty in 9 mil, but you
Okay.
know, 357 Sig. No, I mean, I still have old Sig ammo that I've got.
Do you have any 357 Sig ammo you want to sell?
I do not.
Oh, damn.
I have just enough that if something went bad, I could load up a couple different mags,
Yeah.
couple sets, and then I'm good.
Yeah, dude. I got for $140, I get enough to load up a couple mags, and that's it.
Yeah. So I'll tell you this, and this is what tripped me out is when I went and I got a G17 MOS at um, my law enforcement supply,
Mm-hmm.
and they had all kinds of 357 Sig trade-ins, right? 226s, Glocks, all of that, right?
Yeah.
And then they had a ton of LE trade-in ammo, and they were selling them boxes of 50, kid you not, training ammo and duty ammo for $17.99 a
What?
box. Yeah, because it was all
Bro.
stored. It's all old ammo, so it was all stored and all that.
Okay.
So
So the cheapest ammo that I found for the 357 Sig. So most of these boxes, for me, I got to buy them online. I found
mhm,
one shop locally that's selling them. Right. Nice.
yep,
We have 3 people for a sec. Oh yeah. Um,
at the antique store.
we I had to order it. So when I found some ammo, it was all on PSA, and it was all like $29 to $34 for 20 rounds of all like jacketed hollow points, right? And I needed to fire the gun because it wasn't smooth. It was kind of rocky because those 26s with the rails and the locking block and all that. It's like
Yep,
if it's not smooth, you need to shoot it till it's smooth, basically,
right.
right? And
Yep.
I did. I only had jacketed hollow points, but I found some ammo. Actually, a member of our community hit me up and was like, "Yo, I got some old 357 Sig. I'll sell it to you." I was like, "Hell yeah!" But the cheapest I found ammo was literally, aside from like $140 for 20, 30, 40, 50 for 80 rounds, I found boxes of 50 rounds of ball ammo for $25 each,
Wow.
and that was the best
Yeah.
price I.
I mean, even before then, so I will say that my mom likes my 357 Sig, and that's who has it.
Yeah,
So trying to get her, make sure she's stocked up. She's, like I said, she's got just enough to load up probably about 30 mags,
dang,
and that's about it. But her 9 mil, I've got her stocked up. She's way stocked up on that. And she's even running a PF 940C. So
nice.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's actually an excellent point. I want to jump into one thing with you. And I know you don't have all night, but I do want to just touch on one thing. I heard one of the people in our community, one of my viewers, one of the glowies, has a patent on a very, very interesting thing. It is a tint for trucks, like for truck beds, or maybe
Okay.
even truck. I got to get more info on it, but apparently it's literally so small that it can fold up to go inside your glove box, but you can unpack it and have a tint for either your bed or the whole truck. And
Wow.
it's Murphy's Law. So Murphy's Law, I would love to hear more about that. I think
Yeah.
that's cool. And I think anybody that is like, you know, part of the like prepared community would love some shit like that, man. And he's
Yeah.
patented himself.
That's pretty cool. I mean, who's done that? Those are the kind of things that we would probably like to have in the army out in the field, because we have to pack everything, in our rucks or whatever, loaded
True
up on a vehicle, and you want to stay as small and as light as you can. So yeah,
facts. Yeah, good point.
that makes
Now,
sense.
one thing I wanted to make sure that we hit on, and Murphy's Law, feel free to hit me up anytime on Instagram, shoot me an email, or anything at all. But one thing I did want to hit on, while we're all here, is so one of the things I've expressed on my channel is that I believe that every single human being has the right to build privately manufactured firearms in the privacy of their own home with zero governmental overreach, like modern firearms with zero governmental overreach, like no exceptions. And I just wanted to ask, like, what's your outlook on that?
I mean, I'm a builder, so, and everybody's going to be like, well, you've done this and you've done that, but I mean, I'm still a builder. I mean, I
Yeah,
have to follow the same laws and everything else, but it's legal. So why
yeah,
why can't we do it? I
yeah.
mean,
It was important for a lot of folks that are here listening, and they're like, "Oh, it's a guy that was a cop. Oh, it's a
yeah.
guy that was military."
So
I hear
I'll
that you're
just say this: in all the years that I've done this job, I've not come across a polymer 80 until I started building.
really
Not at all. Not at all. Um, One of my buddies, he hit me up one time because he knows I'm a builder, and he asked me about it because he got it off a kid on a traffic stop, and it was stolen. Like,
yeah.
we eventually tracked down the owner, and it was stolen because they filed a report and they were able to describe it, and they had specific markings on there, so we were able to get it back to the owner. But
Okay, dude, I am so glad that you brought that up because get this. Oh, nice. A new channel member,
yeah,
Eric. Welcome, new channel member, Eric Bennett. And while we're here anyway, another shout out. Thank you, Kurt24, for purchasing other channel membership. Welcome to the Glowy Squad, Eric Bennett. So get this. So I had a dude ask me if he could. He was like, "I'm thinking of getting into shooting. You have inspired me to get into shooting. I want to get my permit." And I was like, "All right, I can help you." Kid I grew up with, went to
mhm,
elementary, middle school, high school with, knew where he lived, all that stuff. And I was like, telling him, like, you can go here and get a gun for about this much. You can go here and get it for this much. You can go on the site because back then you could do private transactions, no problem.
mhm.
And I had two Glocks that were custom. One was a 26, one was a 19. They were both hard chromed by Ford's Custom Gun Refinishing in Florida. Very unique. It's like a two-tone chrome finish where the flats are polished and the rounds are kind of like that frosty matte chrome. And then, forgive me, both of them had two stainless chromish looking Punisher skulls on the back.
Okay.
So they matched, right?
Yeah.
Now, basically, I told the dude, I'll let you borrow it. We'll do a transaction and I'll let you borrow it. When you're done getting your permit and all that shit, I'll just get it back from you. Okay.
Yeah.
The dude tells me it's stolen. like a couple weeks into it, tells me it was stolen and all
Yeah.
that. And I ended up telling the police, like, yo, this dude straight stole it, because I went to his Instagram and I saw a picture of it on the nightstand
Yeah.
with the number obliterated.
Mm.
So this
Wow.
dude faced the number. He told me he, had it stolen from him or whatever.
Yeah.
Told me he reported it stolen. He didn't report it stolen and all this shit, whatever. So anyway, I was like, all right, you know what? Then I ain't got no loyalty to you if you're gonna do me like that. So I called the police, right? So they send a deputy out to talk to me, and I'm like, look, I don't remember the serial number. I bought it at a gun show like years and years and years ago. I don't even remember which vendor I got it from,
Yeah.
but it's a unique gun. And I didn't want to be like, it's a Glock that's chrome with a Punisher skull, because I still had the matching one if they only had the description, right?
Yeah,
But
but I mean, you could have said, "Hey, it looks exactly like this because I had two of them,
so I
and it's
did.
just a different." Yeah.
Yeah, I explained it to him, and I was like, I don't want y'all thinking like if you pull me over one day with this, that this is the one. Like they're matching. He stole it. Look at this picture, right? And they're like, nothing we can do.
Huh.
Dude, this
Huh.
is a picture he posted of a felony. The dude obliterated the serial number in the
Yeah.
picture. Yeah, we can't really do anything about it. They totally carried me, man.
Wow. So I mean, I think that could have been handled a lot better. They could have at least taken the theft report, especially with a firearm. That's a felony in some states.
You know,
Theft of the firearm. So they could have taken the report. They had all the information, and if he obliterated the firearm, they could have just taken it to the ATF and said, "Hey, look, he did this. We're
mm-hmm.
working this case, and he did this. Do you want a piece of this or whatever?" I mean, that's just I don't know. To me, that's just lazy.
Yeah.
Lazy.
The funny
Oh,
thing, and that was the first thing I thought of as laziness. The funny thing is that she was like, "Well, what are you gonna do? It's got the serial number scratched off, so even if we go get it, you can't get it back." I was like, "Wow, okay, never
okay.
mind."
Okay.
Like, damn, like it,
Interesting.
yeah,
You
it
you
was,
could at least you could at the minimum at least let me strip it down. You know,
yeah. Let me
take
get the
all
part.
the yeah. Come on, Jesus. You can
Dude,
keep the frame and
I'll
just
be,
contact Glock because all you had to do was contact Glock and giving them the case number and said, "Hey, they won't give it back to me because the serial number was scratched off," and I'm pretty sure they could have done something.
yeah. They'll send you a new for $100. They'll send you a
Yeah,
whole. And
yeah. They could have at least gave you the parts though.
that's true. They should have. And
Yeah,
it's just kind of disappointing that like somebody like you is like, hey, look at this, my buddy found one, he served justice, got it back to the dude, and I hear they're like, no, you can't do anything, it's in our hands.
I,
It's
yeah, but it just comes down to certain people. If they don't know what they're doing, they're not going to mess with certain things, and that just comes down to ignorance and maybe they didn't think it was important. Like I will tell you, if you call me and you're like, someone knocked over my flower pot, I'm going to treat that as it's the most important thing in your life, right? Because that's my job. You called me, I'm going to come take a report. If I find anything, then what am I going to charge somebody with kicking over a flower pot? A misdemeanor. So if I catch them, then they'll get a Class C ticket. But at least something was done, and then you feel like I did my job, and that's the whole point. Is it's
yeah,
our job to come out there and do that stuff. And I get it because I've been burnt out. I've gone call to call to call and dealt with like jerks. I show up and you call me and then you're cussing me out because you called me. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and get berated by you. So I'm leaving. And I've done that. I'll be like, when you're calm, you can call us back and I'll come back out here and do a report. But until then, I'm not going to sit here and get treated like a piece of shit because
yeah,
you're having a bad day, you know?
yeah.
So,
Eric, thank you, appreciate you, Eric Bennett. So there's actually, donut operator, right?
yeah.
So he shared a couple times, maybe twice, of the time, like his last call before he finally made the decision to leave law enforcement. And he had said that he had to go on a call that unfortunately it was a traffic accident that resulted in the death of a very, very, very young child,
Mhm.
like a sub, like a toddler. It
Yeah.
was, I think the word he used was baby. So let's say it was a baby.
Right.
And he had to go to a call where the baby, he said, was basically like spaghetti on the street. And it was like the most mind fucking and gut wrenching thing he said he ever experienced in his life. And after that call, he had to go on another call, and it was a feud between two neighbors about like a mailbox and a trash can or
Mhm.
something like that. And he went there, and these two like Karens are like yelling and like cursing him out, and he literally was just on a call that was like, him watching the most fragile, you know,
Yeah.
type of life get lost, and then he goes on a call that's a neighborhood feud about like a trash can in a mailbox or some shit like that. And he was like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't do this for up here, and I can't do it for like here. And he was out. It's kind of crazy, man. I couldn't imagine. Like, I'm sure you've had to toggle from terrible situation to good positive situation to like neutral. You know what I mean? Like that's got to be.
Yeah. I mean, it's very rare that we encounter just regular people. Sometimes, we get a vehicle unlock, or, somebody stuck on the side of the road, they need help changing the tire, or something like that, where we get a call out there and we go help. Or being county, you're going to deal with cows being out, or horses, or any other kind of livestock. So you run this whole gamut. One minute you're going from a pursuit to now I'm working an accident, or now I'm working a domestic, or now I'm showing up to, support a community event or something like that. So it's just like so random sometimes. And then some days it's just grinding, just beating you down, daily bullshit, like theft reports. I come in and, somebody's like, oh, somebody broke into my car. I'm like, okay, how'd they get in? Well, my vehicle was unlocked. Okay, all right, let's go over this now. And then you have to sit there and be like, well, you just basically said, here you go, come on in, take my stuff. But I can't say that. So
Yeah,
I just take the report and I treat it just like how I'd want to be treated whenever something happened to me. So, and
yeah,
it's just sometimes you just deal with just terrible situations, stupid people, or whatever you want to encounter. So it's
yeah. Damn.
it's everything. I'll just say that. It's never one day is definitely not the same as the next. It's like a front row seat to the craziest show on earth.
Dude, I could only imagine the psycho shit that you've had to go through.
I mean, I will tell you, I went from taking a theft report one time to being called to someone who is in a mental health crisis, and then they're combative with the EMS, and they're smearing themselves in their own feces, and then you have to wrestle with them and get them handcuffed and under control, like just all the most foul stuff that you can think of. I've kind of encountered it, so
Damn.
yeah, it's it'll
And
amaze you, man.
when like I always wondered this, like, I've seen videos where like law enforcement officers will go and they'll get like fucking puked on, or like have to go in a creek, or like have
Right.
to like get shit on them, and literally like they'll get shit on them or whatever. Like, is there like some type of like, can you go back and like change and then you
So
go back shift?
yeah,
Like what
I
happened?
I usually keep an extra uniform, you know, whether it's in my car or at the station. We have showers and all that stuff, so just keep extra stuff around. However, if it gets all over my outer carrier, I'm kind of screwed. Typically, I would just tell the sarge, or if I was a supervisor that night, I'd be like, "Hey, I got to go home. There's no way I can go out like this." So,
Yeah. So it's still kind of just up to you. Like you
well,
got
I mean,
yeah,
yeah, you got to maintain your stuff, but like if I get a bunch of blood on me or something like that, you can bet that I'm gonna go home
yeah,
because I need to get cleaned up and I need to decon it. And typically, I'll just go over to the hospital and let them kind of sanitize me, and I'll just take off all my gear, and I won't even bring it inside. I'll bring it into the garage, strip it down, and then throw it in the washer.
mm,
And I'll run after that. I'll run several cycles with bleach and other stuff to kind of sanitize the washer because it, I don't want my kids getting exposed to any of that or my
yeah,
spouse or so.
damn.
Yeah, dude,
Yes.
it's crazy, man.
How much did you use a long gun when you were a police officer?
Um, the shooting that I was in, I used a long gun. My rule is if there are guns, I'm gonna come in with more than what you're carrying. And
Yeah.
typically, and I'll say in my shooting, had he hit me, my armor wouldn't have stopped it because he was shooting 30-06.
Mm,
So it didn't matter that I had 223 because I'm carrying the polymer tip 223 Hornady, you know, tap ammo.
yeah.
So as soon as it hits, it fragments and it disintegrates.
Yeah.
So um, that's typically my stance is if there's a gun involved, I'm gonna break out my long gun
Yeah.
just
So
because I want to have that upper hand.
yeah. Do you ever heard the term violence of action?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that concept.
yeah,
Yeah.
very much so.
Yeah.
And I think that's what gave me the upper hand. And I do have the body cam footage of that shooting, but I haven't released it, and I don't know if I will release it. I'm not real sure because you know, the case is done and over with. I've been sued. I won that case, but the guy's still free. Don't ask me why. I didn't kill him, but he's still free. Um, so I don't know if I'll release it, but
It could be asking for a civil suit or, well, I
yeah,
mean,
I mean
he was,
it's already done as far as the civil suit. He was suing me for violating his wife's Fourth Amendment right, which is search and seizure, right? Because if you shoot somebody, that's a seizure, right?
is this the guy that was trying to kill his wife?
This is the guy who shot his wife in the face. Okay. But he said that I did it, which forensics shows that I didn't do it. It was a 22 round, not a 223.
Mm,
So that's what he was suing me for was, you know, violating her Fourth Amendment right to search and seizure.
mm,
So, I mean, but I'll say me acting fast and getting on the gun and moving because I was out front, and I'll just kind of give you just like a quick brief. I pulled up. I was supervisor that night, and I had a new rookie, and he pulled up to the house to take the call. And this was our fourth time at this residence for him calling saying, "Hey, I see people outside with lights and lasers and rifles and all kinds of crazy stuff." So he's just seeing stuff, right?
yeah. He was
So
on.
yeah, he was on narcotics and alcohol mixed. So I told my deputy, "Hey, just tell him if he doesn't quit calling 911, we're going to take him to jail. I'm done with this tonight. This is the fourth time we've been out here. Can't keep dealing with this." So um, he's as soon as I say that, he says, "Hey, did you hear that?" And I said, "Hear what?" Because I was in the middle of getting out of my vehicle. And he was like, "Oh, I heard a gunshot." And I was like, "Where's it coming from?" He said, "Across the street." So I grabbed my rifle because it's got a very high power weapon light on it, right? And
Mhm.
I just kind of pointed across the street just to see what I could see. Pow! Right behind us. I said, "Nope, it's behind us." So
Damn.
I turned around, doubled back, and it was his place and a little like garage type. Um, what do they call them? It's like an overhead with a garage attached to it, right? Like the little metal overheads.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I went around the building and just kind of used that as some kind of cover because I didn't know where he was firing from. And during that time, you can watch on the body cam footage, but my deputy dove inside the car and hid while I was trying to engage the guy. But I wound up. There you go, carport. Thank you, appreciate it. I
Breezeway
can't.
carport. Yeah.
It was a carport. That's the more correct term. So I go around. I'm yelling at him, drop the weapon. I'm announcing 11
Breeze.
3, 11 and 3/4. That's what my next CQBR is. 11
For
and
real?
3/4. Yep.
Sorry, we can hit that after. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just popped it up so I
So,
didn't.
so um, I'm yelling at him. I announced who I was, all that stuff. He didn't drop it. Next thing you know, I'm kind of getting a better position because he's inside his house shooting out the back door. And
Hmm.
I'm trying to get a better position. So if I have to take a shot, that I can take a good accurate shot. And then I heard him charge the rifle, and it was a lever action.
Hmm.
Saw the gun dip, he charged it, and then it started coming up, and um, I kind of had some like not like flashbacks of my life, but I remember seeing my kid standing over my grave, crying, and my brain was like, "Nope, not today." And I just started firing. I let off 10 rounds, and um, I so pretty much what happened is I shot the rifle out of his hand. He took a round in the gut, lost some fingers and some other stuff. But when they did the forensics on it, like I zippered up from his hip to his head without even seeing him, but I zippered it up, good accurate rounds. So um, I don't know. That's pretty much it. But I cleared the scene. I did most everything by myself. It took a backup unit probably about 8 minutes. It took one of my county units probably about 15 minutes to get there. We already had a bird on scene before a county unit got there, so they could flight, med flight his wife out and all
It
that
took
stuff.
15 minutes from the point that you arrived or the point that you
No,
fired.
from the point that I fired and my deputies calling for help,
Yeah.
um, it took that long. It took about 8 minutes for the first unit to arrive on scene, and it was a city cop from another city, and so it was.
Let me ask you this: you rendered aid, and you don't have to talk about anything you don't want
Yeah,
to. I'm just curious. You mentioned that you rendered aid to her. Did she make it?
yeah, yeah.
And
She actually said that I was the one who shot her to cover for her husband.
oh,
So
she's the one that said it too.
yeah, they both came up with that story.
Wow.
So
And he lived. Did you also render aid to him?
no, he was missing some fingers and stuff. I mean, he was all right.
Wow.
He was
And
bleeding, but I mean, medics weren't that far behind. So he was actually treated and released from the hospital into custody.
okay.
So,
So you hit him. You said you hit the rifle and
yeah,
his
I actually shot and blew his hand up, the hand that he was using to shoot.
was it the 77 grain taps?
No, they were 55s.
55s? Yeah,
Yeah.
those are pretty violent.
So,
Would they get liquid medium like that or something,
mhm,
especially with maybe cartilage and bone? That's just gonna.
yeah. I'm in my garage, Murphy's.
Um, do you know how many other times you hit him? You said you hit him in the gut too.
Hey, he took a couple rounds. Yeah.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
And I mean, I'm not trying to be in here and bragging and stuff like that. I mean, that's
Uh,
just my experience, and
yeah,
that's not even like the worst of it. Like I've dealt with more stuff in combat that I don't talk about. I don't want to talk about. It's just
yeah,
that's a part of my life, and that's why I say I'm trying to walk that path of peace, and
yeah,
because
yeah.
I've dealt with enough. So
I know. We've talked offline about stuff, and we talked about you know not getting into much of the detail of that other part of your life. That's totally private. I don't want to jump into that, but maybe we can do a little speed round before we wrap it up.
we'll
So,
see. Run it. Let's see what happens.
what's your EDC?
It depends. I mean, I've got two. I'm either rocking um, the G48 Ronin, or I'm rocking a 365 that is comped out to be a 365 XL. So,
Okay, nice. Would you carry your 48 in something like this?
I mean, I did for a bit till you got it.
Let the people know what this is and how important it is, at least to me, why as it
so,
is.
so HCM used to be a company that I was a part of. We made some cool stuff, some military style holsters as well, some level twos that rival Safari Land, and that's our G48 appendix with a. It's got an optics cover on it, and it's rocking TLR 7. So, and it's got a nice little what do we call them on the back? Uh, yeah, I can't remember what we called it.
The
So
thing
that
to push your shit up
yeah,
so
it it's yeah, it just helps you conceal it better. So it pushes it out so that way it's not out there printing and stuff like that. So I'm I'm sorry I'm brain dead. I wasn't ready for for an HCM holster question, but yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
I just think for me it's so important because you were like, hey, like this was mine. I carried it, got a lot of use out of it.
yeah,
I want to give it to you. And I was like, oh my God, like this, it's super important to me because it was important to you, served
right.
you for a long time, and you were doing the Warrior Night,
Oh
one
yeah,
with
I
your
love that.
48.
Yep, I love that holster. That's definitely my favorite holster, the Warrior Knight, because it
Yeah.
kind of symbolizes kind of my life, and I'm definitely one of those night guys. I like to be in the night and run my nods and all that fun stuff.
Oh, yeah. So nods, what kind of nods you rocking? 14s or 31s?
Yeah, I got 14s. I've worn 31s for quite a few years. I just don't have 31 money. You know,
I feel you.
back when I was working with certain people, they had the 31 money, not me.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I was able to get it. But yeah, 31s, white Foss, that's the life. But yeah, I'm just rocking a single 14. So
Yeah.
that's why my logo, you see the 31s on there.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Uh,
Yes, talking
mil,
knives. Good.
9 mil or 40 cal?
Um, I like 9 mil, and the reason why I like 9 mil is because capacity. I can carry more, and I mean they don't make a G48 type 40 cal. It's 9 mil, so
If they did, would you rock it?
I don't think you'll get the same mag capacity. I like having 20 with those shields. I
Yeah.
love having 20.
In my appendix right now, 20
Yeah,
plus one on a very, very
yeah,
reasonable size platform.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then plus, the commonality. I don't like to have a bunch of different rounds because if I have to, God forbid, something bad happens and I have to pick up, I know my solid three guns that I'm going to grab, and they're all 9 mil. and 2 of them interchange magazines. So, I
Mhm.
mean, definitely have the 9 mil. It's a lot easier. I don't have to carry around a bunch of, oh, well, I like this 40 cal because I like this 40 cal, or this
Yeah.
45. No, just keep it simple. I'm a more of a purpose guy.
Hell yeah.
Uh,
Now, shotgun, pump action or semi-auto?
I love semi-auto, but a pump action, you can't mess it up.
Yeah.
You really have to shove a lot of crap in there to mess up the
Or
function.
short stroke it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So pump, just because I'm used to Glock or Shadow System. Come on, man, you're the Shadow Systems king. No, I do like my Shadow. I'm not gonna lie. I only own one, so I'll say that DR920P
Whew.
is good for me. I've seen a lot of people have issues with it on Reddit, of course. Don't go to Reddit because it's like the black hole of the internet. So, but yeah, I
Don't
haven't had an issue with
rent
it.
unless you're looking for advice on where to buy jigs, and you can buy jigs at dldhardware.com.
There you go.
So, no, you're totally right. That's where you know blogs go to die is Reddit. So
Yeah,
stay out. I usually call Twitter the hole below the outhouse in the ground, or the
yeah.
hole in the below the outhouse. But it's some people call it the bathroom stall of the internet. But I think Reddit may take the cake on that.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I Every time I go there, I'm like, what is going on with it? Sometimes gas, you get some really good deals
Really,
on gas. Oh yeah, man, I've gotten some good stuff. Freakistan will tell you he's gotten some really good stuff. I'm like, damn, man, how do you find all this?
bro? Get this. So I just bought a shotgun yesterday, and the dude threw in some 357 SIG ammo. I just had to pay for
Nice.
shipping. So I got a 14 and a half inch Mossberg Shockwave
Okay.
with the Mesa Tactical AR adapter. So it's got the AR grip and
Yep.
the AR tube
Yep.
with an A4 stock with a True Glow tritium fiber optic front sight. What do you think I paid for it?
I hope you don't save over $600.
Let's say half that.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Crazy deal. So get
I
this.
mean, I would dump that optic, but
Yeah. No,
but you,
no, not a True Glow optic. The True Glow
oh,
front.
fiber optic sights, like
Yeah,
the irons. Yeah. Okay. I got
yeah,
you.
probably still. So you know what? Anybody, if you want one of those True Glow fiber optic, I think it's fiber optic and tritium. It may just be fiber optic, but
I think it's both. They try to run both.
yeah, yeah. But it's like the like clamp on. Maybe it's clamp magnets, but if anybody has a Mossberg 590 or 500 and you want it, it's yours free of charge. Because I'm gonna take it off running the brass bead on that thing.
Yeah.
But dude, it was 325, and the dude brought it down to 300 because so in Delaware, apparently 3 months ago, they changed the laws. So shockwaves are all outlawed. Braces, I may have misunderstood him, but braces, I think he said were outlawed, and any magazine capacity over 17 was outlawed.
Wow.
I was blown away to hear that. Couldn't believe it.
Well, I thought that in Maryland before you couldn't purchase it there, but you could have the magazine, but you couldn't purchase it there.
You can in Maryland, yes. This was
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're yeah.
yeah,
I got it.
it's so crazy to like and Windex says 17 is such a random number. So I think what these dudes do is they literally look at popular handguns
Hmm.
and let's land on 17 because you can buy a Glock 17 or a SIG 226 or Beretta 92 FS and be like around that number. So
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, but it is what it is. Okay, back to the speed round. SIG 226 or Beretta 92 style.
I, I love them both, man. That's a hard one because I have both.
Yeah.
So, oh,
It
I'm gonna go Sig, and the reason why is because the Beretta, I love it. It's a great for over here, but once you start getting in terrible freaking environments,
yeah.
um, I've had them fail, and I've thrown it because I was like, I'm done with this thing. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I love my 92. I love my M9. I actually the 92 that I have was my best friend's. He was that's what he carried up until the day that he died. He was a deputy.
Yeah.
So, um, so it's kind of like that significant firearm that I keep around, and I need to get it refinished and get it respringed and all kinds of stuff. And I
Yeah.
may laser engrave it. Holds a lot of value to me. So
Yeah. For sure. Um, what about a printed frame or an 80% frame?
80% all day,
Yeah.
all day. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I do have one printed frame. Um, I don't have what I need to make it run, so I haven't built it out. So, and
Now,
it's and I think I don't have what I need because it was a terrible print is the problem. So
I thought you were a more skilled printer than that, man.
no, no. Mm-mm. This was printed for me, but that was done by somebody who knows a little bit more than I do.
Can we all, everybody here, we got 60 something people here still. Can we all take a moment and honor that we have a dude? Now, you're right, it's just a dude, right? But I think people get this picture in their head of what, like, police or people that used to be police are, were, whatever. Like, we got a dude that, for anybody out there that's like, anti cop, whatever the fuck, right? We got a dude building guns from 80% frames, 3D printing guns. You know, it took like this. Cops are just dudes. Not
Yeah,
all.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I know about 15 other that build. They love it.
Mhm.
So I'm not the only one.
Yeah,
It's just not, and that was all because of MGB. I'll just keep it real. Like all these dudes, I met them through MGB, and that's what we got into, especially during um, the COVID period.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, some of us didn't have really anything to do, and especially me. I mean, I was in the medical process, getting ready to retire from the army, going through my surgeries and all that stuff from my deployment injury, and um, yeah, straight up, that's why why I know people in law enforcement and military that build. It just because of that community. So
I just think that's dope as shit, man. I love that, and I love that. Like in the past, when we've talked offline about things, you're like all about freedom and independence, and
well, I
just
mean, I swore an oath to the Constitution. It's not this bullshit about how, you know, I'm just going to take it and then just go do whatever I want to do. No, that I mean, it meant something to me both times that I swore to it. And I swore to it every time I re-enlisted and everything. And every time we did our swear-ins, because we do it every election year as a deputy sheriff. Our sheriff swears us in, and it means something to me. Like
yeah,
that's the reason why I did it. And I was bitter for a while about how the army treated me and all this stuff. And pretty much when you get hurt and you're in the army, you're just a piece of trash and they just throw you away. It doesn't matter what skills you possess, how many deployments you've been on, how many awards you've gotten, all the good stuff. It just doesn't matter. So I was bitter about that. And I think that's why I've kind of turned this whole new leaf about understanding what's in my control and controlling how I feel and how I treat other people and all that stuff. So just kind of walk through the garden per se. Now, do I have the ability to get violent? Yes, I do. And I'm trust me when I say I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
But I don't walk that path anymore. So, but if I need to, I will.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think a lot of us probably feel like there's something in the air and there's something coming. And I think the best thing for all of us to do is, prepare and, stay close to our loved ones and, prepare, but at the same time, pray that nothing happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I think a lot of people just get so worked up about things, and you need to just stop and look at it from let's just look at it from a tactical standpoint. Okay. You want to know, just like Sun Tzu said, you want to be able to understand your enemy. And the only way you can understand your enemy is by watching, watching their movements and listening, not just listening to what the media is saying, because they're throwing stuff out to kind of throw you off that. I mean, it's stuff that we would do overseas to try to throw them off and say, hey, yeah, we're not going to raid your place tonight. And then we raid your place tonight. And you're like, oh, well, they said they weren't going to come. And here they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just like paying attention, like making
Yeah.
sure you're ready, paying attention to what's going on around you. Situational awareness is huge. Like that's what's kept me alive throughout all my years, is
Mm.
understanding what's around and understanding and looking. And I can tell you probably the best book that I ever read was about a hunter killer team, and they teach you what to look for in people and how to scan around, and you'll be able to pick up little clues on um, whether you're going to get ambushed or they're setting you up to funnel you into a bad position or anything like that. I mean, it's like pretty crazy.
Damn.
Oh,
That's
you freak. Sarge, don't say hi to Gerchop. Oh, God.
you can say.
Gerchop, hey.
Chop has been around for a long time.
No.
Now,
I,
he's
I see him all the time.
Yeah, he's like our resident troll, but he's deep down, he's a good dude. The only problem with Gerchop is that he likes 38 Super.
I mean, I've seen people fire it like Jerry. Jerry's fired it. So,
Yeah,
I mean, it
I'm
can't
just
be all bad, right?
yeah, I'm just picking on him. I
I don't know.
actually was surprised because like I went to XCal recently. It's that huge 100,000 square foot range facility and all that shit. And I go and they massive ammunition selection, right? And I'm going and I'm looking all over the place for 357 SIG, right? I got, enough 9mm, 5.56, 7.62 by 39 and stuff like that. And I'm like, you know what? I just need 357 SIG. So I'm looking for it and I look all over the place. They don't have a single round of 357 SIG, but you know what they got there? 38 Super.
38. Oh my God.
I was like, the first person in my mind was Gerchop, of course. I'm
Of
like,
course, right? That's
you know,
pretty funny, man.
funny. Before we wrap up, just out of curiosity, what about blades? What are some of your like carry blades?
Um, I mean, I bought a ton of tack knife stuff. So,
Right? Yeah,
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 I have quite a few of them. But I mean, I bought them because I wanted to support you, obviously, and kind of help out and all that stuff. And I'll be honest with you, from a perspective that I come from, where knives and guns and stuff are used to save your life. They're probably not the greatest quality, but they're pretty good. So, is it
yeah,
something that I could throw in my pocket and feel comfortable carrying? Yeah. Is it
yeah.
something that I would take overseas with me or out on the streets? I mean, maybe out on the streets on duty, I could probably pull that off, but not overseas. I got to have a fixed blade, and it's got to be either, you know, what am I running? I have Rat threes. That's what I run.
Yeah.
So that or a karambit, and
Yeah.
that good.
That love the karambits. I think like the tack knives. I don't even think like if I was going like let's say like overseas or out on the streets, I probably wouldn't bring like even the like highest quality like Microtech or Heretic or whatever because
Yeah,
there's
Cobra Tech is good too.
yeah
But I mean, it's to me the only difference between a Cobra Tech and attack knives is there's just a little bit more stuff that they do to the Cobra Tech that, as far as looks and blade, um, as far as the sharpening and stuff like that. That's the only differences. I feel like they feel the same because I have Cobra Techs.
yeah I think just like the OTF design has some limitations.
Yeah,
You know, like some of the best folders and fixed blades. Like I think for the money, if I spend like so, some of those tack knives are like $150,
yeah,
and they're top tier ones like $150. Like they're good compared to like a $450 Microtech. Like yeah, I'll take that $150 tack knife all day. But I
yeah,
think OTFs kind of have similar um, like limitations. So like for the money, for like $90 fixed blade, that I think this is going to hold up like way better to like an actual defensive situation or
right.
like you said a fixed blade or something like that. But for like typical EDC stuff, I think even when I carry a an OTF switchblade, I'll usually have another blade on me. You
Yeah.
know,
Well, I mean, you should anyway, if you think about it. I mean, on duty, we'll just say just only on duty. I'm carrying probably about 4 knives situated in different spots because
Mhm.
at the time, I was in jujitsu and we would roll and practice, and I would wear my gear and all that stuff. So I knew if I was fighting with somebody and I had to get to something, I had the access to it.
Yeah.
So and they were mostly fixed. There was only one that was a folder, and it was an auto folder. And I think it was a Benchmade is what I was carrying, which
Yeah.
that was an issued. And then I started carrying the Cobra Tech because someone gifted me that for our Christmas thing that we did for our shift. And
Mhm.
then that's what I carried ever since. And I don't know. I mean, I'm a big fixed blade guy. I love the K bar TDIs. That's what I carry on
That's
my
what's
non-dominant side, and
yeah.
then I carry um, some other K bar stuff. Like I have a little mini K bar that I would keep up in my vest so I
Hey,
could access it,
yeah. Keep going.
and just a couple other blades that were kind of either back pocket, side pocket, or something like that.
This is my GTO FM knife.
Yep.
The get
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, that's what I called mine. So that's the big one. I carry the smaller one because it
This.
tucks right behind my radio. So you can't see it. You'll
Oh, nice.
never know it's there. So if you're attacking me and you're trying to find something to
Hmm.
grab and use against me, you don't even know it's there.
It's such a great design because it's similar to like the idea of a karambit,
Yeah.
but and I did have the smaller one. I actually gave it to a friend, and I always regretted it because even when they continued to make the other smaller TDIs, they never put the same belt clip that they had on like the
Yep.
older ones, and I was
Yep.
always about that. This one is the Molly.
Yeah. No, I
Brand.
have that one too. So I
Oh,
used to carry that on my SWAT vest. So that way I could rip it if I need to or
was it
whatever.
right hand or left hand?
I would off carry
Okay, so this
because I kept my rat over here behind my pistol, and
yeah.
then I kept the other one on the opposite side so I could get to it, rip it out, and
Yeah. This one is under like it's on the right side, like right
yep,
here
yeah,
in my carrier because I figure if I'm like if someone goes for my gun, I'll be able to have it like
yeah,
reasonably close. Now I'll also have so I keep a small fixed blade, basically at like 11:30, 12 o'clock on my front waistband, and that way I can grab it with my right hand or my left hand if I
Well,
need.
I will tell you, you need to change that placement. And the reason why is because if someone's going for your firearm, right? Say you're wearing it like I would wear it, either on a belt or a drop leg or something. And I don't wear drop legs. So um, the reason why you want to go offhand is so you can tuck and then you can lock in their arm. And then when you hit them with that left side and catch that arm, it's going to force them to give it up because you're gonna hit them right in that nerve bundle and that um, what's that radial? I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like that ligament or whatever that runs down through here.
Okay.
And if you catch it right, they'll lose their hand.
Hmm.
Like they won't be able to move it, and they'll lose like these couple fingers. So I just look at it like that: trap the arm with your dominant hand. And then just run it up on them. So
If I can trap their arm and then grab it, let's say grab it with my left hand,
yeah,
but it's like a straight fixed blade. It's across the room. It's
yeah.
one of the cold steel clip points that has the it's like a spot where you kind of stick your fingers through and grab it. It's a little hard to draw. Let me see. Is it? I think it's over there. Yeah, it's on the other side. But it's so you're saying place it where?
I would go opposite. So how you have that one, and the reason why you want that one, that K-bar TDI that way, is because when you're coming in, you can come straight across,
Yeah.
and like this, instead of, okay, now I have this weird thing and I have to do this, or
Yeah.
you want to come under and scoop up like that, because then you're going to run all that meat. I mean, that's just something to think about. Or you can hit that wrist if you need to, which I wouldn't recommend it because now you're getting too close to your own body and stuff like that. But I'm more of a purpose guy, and it's how I trained, and it works. So
Yeah,
I mean,
this on my rig right next to my holster, kind of like under when I used to rock a drop leg.
right.
It was under it, up, and kind of on top of it.
Yeah.
But if I need to grab my pistol or retain my pistol with my right hand,
Yeah.
in theory, I'd have to let go to draw.
Well, and then think about this: is you got to think about how your brain's going to react in that situation. What's your brain going to want to do? It's going to want to retain that gun because it's like, oh crap, he's going to get my gun and kill me with it, right?
Yeah.
So you want to limit that and use the hand that you should have it on so you can come across and run it. It's a lot easier to just get your brain to do a different pathway to bring it over and cut them versus, oh god, now I got to get it up and I got to hurry up and make sure that I hit them without hitting myself before they get the gun out of the holster.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a lot of work, man. You got to think about how your brain's going to work. And I can tell you, having been in some pretty bad situations, that even that shooting, like most people are like, oh, auditory exclusion, or all these things. You get tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is a true thing. It does happen. You'll suck in. But for me, as soon as it sucks in, my hearing, I can tell you exactly how many rounds I fired, and I even told the investigator on that. But my stuff, it sucks in and then it just blows up, so I can see everything because my brain is so trained to be aware of everything that's going on, especially when you've been out in the middle of nowhere and you're in a huge ass firefight, and you can't trust the building that you're hugged up against because you don't know if there's an insurgent in there or what. So So you want to try to limit that stuff. You want to try to make it easier for your brain to pick up, and that's why you train. And I tell people, if you're going to do it, you have to do it 10,000 times. No matter what, you have to do it 10,000 times. And how can you get the reps? It was just like when I was teaching drawing from a holster. You start out doing 10, grabbing the gun, do 10. All right, now I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to reholster. And you're getting reps while you're doing it. Even
Yeah.
when you're going punching out and drawing the gun to reholstering, you're still getting reps through all
Yeah.
that stuff. And every time before I go work, I grab my pistol, it'd be unloaded. I do an admin reload, punch out, holster up, and then when I come home, out, punch out, off, clear it and put it in the safe or put it up or whatever. So
Yeah.
it's all about repetition and training your brain to understand that under stress, you're going to react a lot different than what you think you're going to do.
Yeah. That's interesting, and because I've been in Murphy's Law. Thank you, brother. He says,
Mm.
Dark. I want to say thank you to you and our family here. I'm now over 600 subs. Man,
Awesome.
good for you.
That's
Um,
awesome, man.
so I was in one situation where, oddly enough, a 40 cal saved my life.
Yeah.
Um, so I went to a party that I shouldn't have gone to. I was invited to it. I said no. I was already literally driving home for the night, and my was like, "Dude, I'm going alone. Like, I don't want to go alone. Come with me." Eventually, talked me into it, and I went. And this was like right when I was kind of trying to, change my surroundings, the people around me, and all that, because I was like, kind of going through this thing where like now I'm carrying a gun, so like I can't get in a road rage incident because that could become a fatal incident. I don't want to get
Yep.
in a fist fight because that could become a fatal incident.
Mhm.
I want to engage from anything, which includes unknown events, unknown parties with unknown people. But for my boy, I was like, all right, I'll go. Long story short, this guy was there acting a fool, trying to fight everybody. He got thrown out. His boy, on the way out, took a kitchen knife, and he had kind of targeted me when we were inside there. So we waited. After that, the coast was clear. We left together. The second that I got outside, he popped up from behind one of the cars, and they started rushing me. There's a little bit more to it, but take
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I
Um,
think we talked about that, but yeah, I
yeah,
remember that. Yeah.
yep, right. Basically, the kid snuck one out, brought it to him. He came from up behind the car, and he had it tucked behind his forearm with it down like this. So he was hiding the fact that he had a knife. And looking back on it, I was like, okay, if you're hiding the fact that you have a knife and you're rushing somebody, you're gonna use it. If
Mhm.
you're running out like, I'm gonna cut you, like trying to like front with it,
Yeah.
then you're just like showing it off, trying to look like a badass. But this dude had that shit tucked behind his forearm, and it was a kitchen knife, like I think it's the cleaver, not the chef's knife, like a chef's knife. And
Right.
anyway, he's approaching me, and I just thought he was going to try to fist fight. So I was kind of like getting ready. My boy was right next to me, to the left of me, and I'm
Right.
right outside of the breezeway on like a concrete step, right before the next step, and then the parking lot is outside. And this dude was going crazy, man, and like was shaking a street sign and like shirt off, like Incredible style.
Yeah.
But anyway, after that, so he's approaching me, and he's walking super fast, and the street light hit the glare on that blade like just right, and I yelled, "He's got a knife! He's got a knife! He's got a knife!" Trying to tell my boy because he was unarmed, and it just took like a split second. I drew a shitty ass Glock 23 out of a shitty ass Don Hume holster, but it was like less than 2 seconds up in the air, and I have never screamed so loud in my life. Stop, stop, drop it, freeze. I'm going to shoot you. I will shoot you in the face. Don't fucking move. And
Yeah.
I think, was so inebriated that, like, he didn't understand that I wasn't just saying stop, stop, like that I was. Because when you got the business end of a gun pointed at you, you got like this much that you can actually see, very
Right.
little you can actually see.
Yeah.
And finally got close enough, like within distance, where like all the draw on the like I was at the wall, like I was about to shoot this dude, and he finally realized that I was pointing a gun at him, and he dropped the knife, put his hands up, he got down on his knees, and I kicked the knife away and just basically got the fuck out of there. The
Right.
moment that I my back and started walking away, all these people flooded out of the party, and they were like, "What's going on?" And all they saw was a guy with a gun.
Yeah.
You know. So after that, went over to the shopping center that's closest to them, and 40 cal for the win. Yeah, whatever, guys. And I knew that there was police officers at this movie theater shopping center area, so I went over there because I was like, they may have already gotten out a call with my vehicle license plate, my description. So I go up and I'm literally raising my hands, and I was like, "Officer, I need your, I'm friendly, don't kill me." And I tell him like, "Dude, this guy pulled a knife on me. I had to draw my handgun on him, but like, I'm good." And he's like, "Did you shoot him?" I was like, "No, I didn't shoot him." He's like, "Why didn't you shoot him?" I was like, "Because I didn't need to. He dropped the knife."
Yeah.
He's like, "I would have shot him." I was like, "Damn."
I mean, I can tell you that's probably the course of action I would have taken. He would have had that little bit of time, just like with my guy. I gave him 2 verbal commands. He decided he was going to charge the rifle, and it was time. So he got what he had coming to him. And just like him, I think you did what you were going to do, and that was the right thing to do. Had you shot him, would you have been justified? Probably, yeah, 100%. Especially if they're saying that. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, once you pull that trigger on somebody, it's especially here. Overseas, we had 15-6s and all that stuff, but it's not like, oh well, I'm probably going to get locked up tonight, booked in, and then be released out on bond maybe because it's my first offense. You know what I'm saying? It's like all those scary what ifs, and then the fact that the bad guy can sue you is even worse. It doesn't make any sense. So
That's easy. You would think that if there was a justified shooting, that there could be no civil lawsuits after that, but it's just not the case, man.
yeah.
And at that moment, nothing in the world existed except his silhouette and my trigger. Like that was it. I mean, of course, like you said, I remembered what I said. I remember, like exactly the point on the curb that he was when he finally made the decision to stop. And I was relieved, but I didn't feel that relief until after I was, gone. And then, okay, so for all the gun guys out there, a dude ran up on me and got within like 4 feet of me and was like, "Oh yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing?" I'm like, "Dude, I just had to drink." And I'm like trying to like get back and like retain my Jesus. I'm trying to like retain and I'm like telling him to get back. Like, I don't know. He's like with the guy or whatever.
Right.
And he's like, oh, bro, I got a carry permit too. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you think this is the gun show, dude? Like, it was so weird. So gun dudes know when to have gun dude moments. And that's not a gun dude moment.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think you handled it the right way and you did what you had to do. I think you probably would have helped yourself even more if you had a bright light on the bottom of it, because he would have went like that. That would have been the first thing, especially dark. Like that's the first thing our human reaction is, to cover up that light.
Yeah.
And that would have stopped that threat. And then sometimes if they're just hyper motivated, or they're going to come at you, it doesn't matter. So it just, but I think it was more of based on that, a show. You know what I'm saying? Especially with him rocking around the posts and trying to shake it and do all that stuff. He's trying to scare you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm glad. I'm hoping that like, because he was like trying to fight everybody in the party and acting a fool and whatever. I hope that like, if he is at least like a moderately good person and can reflect, maybe he could be like, man, like,
I almost died.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I was just picking a fight with an average Joe, and this dude pulled out a gun, like changed the game completely for him. Like, maybe it changed the course of his life. I can only.
And I mean, that's what I say to other people is like the road rage stuff. You never know. I mean, I've worked a road rage incident where they were driving down the highway, like chasing down each other, firing at each other from moving vehicles. They're like doing doing all that crazy stuff with all these people on the roadway, and they had
Jeez,
no care or anything about who was around, and it was just it's amazing how people get when they get angry.
that's crazy, dude.
So
Well, I appreciate you and
yeah,
what you've
man,
done for
appreciate
for
it.
all of our freedom. I appreciate that, and I appreciate that you actually implemented people's human rights and the Constitution into your daily job. Now I know, like, you're like, well, of course I took an oath. A lot of people aren't like that.
Well,
So
we can't say a lot
there are
because
some people that aren't
there
like
there are some, and I can tell you, and Aegis will tell you, or Aegis, sorry, I
that.
keep saying Aegis.
Mhm.
Aegis will tell you, Rod, that
Yeah,
we took that stuff seriously, and it's and when we see those bad things happen, we hate it more than anybody else. Thank you, appreciate it. So it's hard on us. Just like whenever I see it and it pops up on the media, I'm like, oh man, really? Why did that guy stand around and just let that happen? Like I would never let one of my troops do that. There's no way. He would
yeah,
be in handcuffs, you know? But
yeah,
it just I don't know. I think a lot of it's especially nowadays, we don't want to do our job. Why do we not want to do our job? Because we don't have support.
yeah.
We want all the defund the police. I can tell you, I've heard all of the stuff from the group that I'm in. We have over 60,000 of us that are the same, like-minded people, and they don't want to go to work and do the job anymore because uh, we're going to wind up in prison for doing our job.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what do you want us to do at this
I mean,
point? So
totally fucked the morale.
yeah,
I think it's chased a lot of the good ones out. You
yeah,
know, and the fact that so much of the country was acting,
shit.
a lot of them were acting like they were against law enforcement. And I've talked to these guys that are like, defund the police, and I'm like, okay, well, let's walk down that path a little bit. Let's say we defund the police. What would you do? Every single conversation leads to the same thing, which is creating the police department. It's
Yeah,
like, okay, well, I would create a group of people that would keep the community safe. Okay, what would they do? Well, they would get special training, and they'd carry weapons. And okay, well, would they have a uniform on? Yeah, it would be like something that citizens. I'm like, dude, you literally just said you defund the police to recreate the police. Like, what the fuck?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
It doesn't make any sense, and I will tell you that's why we're having the hiring and like recruiting and retention of LE is ridiculous, and it's even worse for um, let's just say disabled vets. Okay,
Mm,
if you come back and you're a combat veteran and you were deployed, but you were working the job before you deployed because you're National Guard,
mhm.
and you come back and then your department treats you different because you got hurt serving your country. I mean, those are the kind of things that we have to deal with. And now when you apply for a job and you tell them, hey, I'm a 100% disabled veteran, they're like, well, why are we going to hire him? Can he even do the job? What, you see me, I'm up and moving. You know what I'm saying? So we run into a lot more stuff than just the average ordinary citizen as far as the recruiting and retention. I mean, even the military's feeling it. Nobody wants to go into the woke military, and I don't blame them. I
Yeah,
mean, command is ridiculous, and it's just like that in LE too. We have several, especially the bigger departments, where they've got that liberal kind of sense where you know we're not going to side with our officers and back our good officers, and nobody wants to do the job. So I don't blame them on that, and it sucks. The state of everything is it's just looking bleak, and I hope that we can kind of come come around and get rid of that stigma. And we don't have to be 100% like support everybody, but you support the good ones, and that's how you keep the good ones.
yeah, hell yeah. Well, again, I appreciate you coming on, man,
Yeah,
and I appreciate you just from all of our conversations, just as a friend, man. Like, you're a really good dude. You've been solid. You're always, I mean, you know how I close the show, right? Like you're always like that, coming from a place of contribution, given to others, and I don't know. I just appreciate you, man, a lot.
Thank you.
So,
Appreciate that.
yeah. And as we go ahead and close out, man, remind everybody, who you are and where they can find you and all that.
All right. I'm the angry guy. Promise you I'm angry. No, everybody calls me Happy Sarge. I'm like, I'm not
Yeah,
really that happy. I'm nice, but I can have a mean streak.
yeah. I've
But
actually never seen you angry. Actually, now that you,
it's not a good thing. Yeah. Think of Incredible Hulk like on steroids. That's what kind of mad I get. But
yeah,
no,
yeah,
I'm just a good dude. I like to take care of my people, especially my people in my Discord or my biggest supporters, and I've been growing. And but you can find me on Instagram, angry_Sarge. I'm gonna work out the whole YouTube. I'm still messing with that, trying to figure that nightmare out because I do have an account, but I don't like that account. I want to make it kind of separate from my own personal stuff and
yeah.
all that. Um, so for now, Instagram, and that's it. Just a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Hell yeah. Guys, I will let you know. At first, I said that wasn't John Crump, but it appears that he is. John Crump, if that's really you and it's not some imposter. Okay, all right, never mind. He said it. Okay, all right, you're good. You're good. I've never seen that channel before. I always see John Crump
Yeah.
News. That's an imposter, y'all. So that is Crump. He's supposed to call. He is. So, oh, where can I get my Tyrant Killer patch? So you guys, I'll let all y'all know. You guys will have to hit
I'm,
up Tame the Bang.
yeah. I'm still waiting for mine. They sent it,
Oh,
but
really?
yeah, I'm still waiting for it.
Nice. Yeah, Tame the Bang on Instagram. The other thing you can do is every Friday at 9 p.m., the Serialist crew. Oh my God, I put my Serialist shirt in the laundry and it's been sitting there all day and I didn't change it. Damn it. Wet clothes sitting there for a whole day. Uh,
Whoops.
this is me too. What? How many channels you got, bro? But yeah, go to Tame the Bang and ask for a Tyrant Killer patch. Apparently, he says they're burning a hole in his pocket, and he's like, "I'm just trying to get rid of them." So, the other thing you can do is every Friday at 9 p.m. There's a show called Serialists, and they review builds. The
Yeah.
other thing did speak with the crew at Serialist. I spoke with everyone. I spoke with everyone. Okay, so no one get in their feelings. I am gonna bring back the show and tell, which turned into glow and tell, which turned into builders banter, and I'm getting pictures sent to me. If you guys want to show off your builds, you can show off your builds. Email me. I'll actually type in my email right now. Oh shucks. Woo. That was almost bad. Hold on.
Well, while you're doing that, I forgot to mention
Yep.
talking trash with Panda is on Friday as well. So if
Oh,
if you
that's
want to pull up serial list and then throw us on another screen, come check us out. We're going to have Carbon Q. She's going to talk about prepping and some other stuff. And then our next guest, which is I think the 18th, is going to be Frank Castle Customs. He's gonna show up
woo.
and then next week I'm going to talk to Tactical Considerations. He's going to show up, and MGB is going to show up in December. So December we've got two guys. One, they're both heavy hitters. So we're going to have MGB on, and we're going to have Mike from Tactical Considerations as well. So,
Dude, that's awesome. Actually hit up Tactical Considerations and asked if he'd be down to come on. Didn't hear back from him though, so if you can
yeah.
maybe
So I'll tell you, he's out of town. Like,
okay.
so I won't say that he gives me favor, but we're both military guys. So he's a ranger and a cop, at one point. So we kind of, yeah, that's nice. Who
You know who
who did that? Who touched it?
Who do you think? That's
I
your
don't
boy,
know. Who?
Frank Castle.
No. Who'd you
This
get
is
that from? Who'd you get
this
that from?
the Swamp Dogs.
No, I did that.
Oh, you did that? I
I
thought.
did that. No, the strike. I think he has a strike 80 that Frank did.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
You're right.
I stippled that. Sorry.
Dang, good job, man.
I appreciate it. I mean, it's terrible, but
No,
that's my early work, man.
dude, I would love to send some totally lawful blanks with no jigs, tools, or instructions out to you to get done.
I appreciate that, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, we've got a big lineup coming up. You can either support me or show up to Serialists and support them. I appreciate coming on here and getting a lot of love from you guys. So thank you.
Hell
I
yeah. And
I'm always grateful.
I know honestly, and that's not mine. I'm totally fronting in the rental. That's Swamp Dogs. I was supposed to send it back to him, and then I did, and then it came back to me for some reason, return to sender, and
Yeah.
then I was bring it to you at Iraq Veteran Shoot, and then none of us, went to Iraq Veteran Shoot. So
Wow. Yeah.
back, but can people send blanks out to you to get work done?
Um, I won't take them, and the reason why is because I've got so much other stuff going on right now, trying to I guess figure out what my next step is as the influencer stage. I mean, I've got some companies that reached out to me that I'm going to announce, and they're not like small companies,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm trying to get ready for that. And I mean, I wish I could, but I
Yeah.
just honestly I don't have the time.
Oh yeah.
But
No.
that's why we have good people like Shogun Customs, Frank Castle Customs, Glad Hill Customs. You know, Glad Hill's still around, so those
Yeah.
guys are freaking dope and turn out a lot of stuff. So
Well, you got to do what's best for you, man, and the next step of Sargeville, that's that's all on you,
yeah,
brother.
yeah,
Let
no,
us.
I appreciate it. I'm just I actually got a surprise this morning. I got an email from Ronin Tactics, and he wanted to get some of my sweet merch. So so I'm gonna
Well,
send a package out to him in the morning.
let us know, how we can support you. Even if it's popping in the chat and just letting us know. And of course, all you guys. That's right. I forgot that talking trash, on Tactical Trash
Yeah,
Pandas and Serialist kind of conflict, but
yeah,
support both of them. Pop in. Not everybody's going to watch Serialists. Not everybody's going to go there. So toggle back and forth, show some love, support, and chat and all that. And
yeah.
aside from that, I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. You got anything else, brother?
Yep, just like how you do your clothes and how I do my clothes. I'm gonna leave you with this. You got to remember what's in your control. What's in your control is how you treat yourself, how you treat others, and what's important with that is that you live your best, and how you live your best is in service of others.
Mm, damn, that's a more abbreviated way of how I do my long ass clothes. That's dope, man. Yeah, and sub to Angry Sarge, y'all. So you have a YouTube channel up?
I don't have the second one yet. I'll get that announced later, but
Yeah,
IG right now, just hit me up on Instagram, and that's the best place to see what I've got going on right now.
yeah, yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, my bad. You mentioned that too. Sorry. So make sure you go catch him on Instagram. And I'm sure when he has that YouTube channel up, he'll blast it out
Yeah.
to all y'all.
Yep.
In closing, I'll finish up the stream like I do every other stream, which is rule number one is to be kind. It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. That little 2-second interaction that you have with somebody else could have a huge, lasting impact on their life. So we got to be kind in everything that we do, which means, guys, even if you are having conversations with others of different beliefs, right? We got to make sure that we're still kind in our conversation. And that's the way that you pull people over to the dark side. I'm just kidding. in everything that you do. Rule number 2 is to live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others. A hand that's open to give is open to receive. So as you bless others, you become blessed. That is just the way that the world works. Number 3, we know that the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men that are skilled in violence. So make sure that you are becoming as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be. Now, people may misunderstand when I say this. I'm not saying be violent. I am saying be a warrior, right? Be kind, caring, loving, and so incredibly compassionate, and be ready to just unzip a motherfucker at a moment's notice if you need to. That is what a warrior is. And lastly, be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you, whatever
right.
that.
Let me say one thing. So Miyamoto Musashi said it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Very true.
So
I
keep
remember
that mindset.
Yeah. And who was it? Was it Patton, or there was another, I think like a general who said, be kind and have a plan to kill everybody.
So that was Mad Dog, but
Matt,
it's a little bit different than that. But you're close.
yeah, you remember what it was?
I not off the top of my head, but it's there. It's floating. So
Somebody will probably pop up and say, like, Sport Brand. I remember Sport Brand is before.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting me and supporting Dark and the rest of us out here doing it.
Hell yeah. Love all y'all. Oh, that's great. Jordan Peterson says, be a monster, but control it. That's great. I love all y'all. Thank you so much. Angry Sarge, thank you so much for joining us. And with that, we're out. Remember, guys, post comments. I'm going to do giveaways in the future. So comment on the comments and like all the comments and all that stuff. All right, y'all. Peace.